Hey, what's up? Brian, Theoretical Gamer. Happy New Year, everyone. I know by the time this goes up, it'll probably be the second, but I'm doing I'm doing it during the last. It's about 10:45 on the first, so it still kind of counts. Um, I haven't done a lot of videos because it's like when I first started, I was really enthusiastic. I put up a lot of videos, and then after a while, it became, well, I've done all the reviews that I thought were cool. I came up with the topics that I thought were cool. I started getting a little weird with them by the end, and it's like, it's not that I didn't want to do them. It's just that they just trailed off. My problem is this, and I've intimated this in other videos and other comments, is that I tend to get into ruts where I don't do anything ever at all. And as so I'm going to kind of do a New Year's resolution. My resolution is do stuff. That's my thing. It's going to be Brian does stuff. What kind of stuff? Hopefully creative stuff. There's like a list of things that I would like to do, and at least get started on. I'd like to write a novel. I got an idea in my head. Kind of a modern urban paranormal type of thing. There's nothing wrong with a good, fun adventure story. And I got some ideas. I'd like to actually come up with ideas for game settings, explore that. I would like to actually run a game. I'd actually have to learn. One interesting thing is I've seen people do let's play videos of video games. That would be fun to try. I don't know, get one of those video capture programs and just record what you're doing on screen, and probably no one will watch it, but it would be fun. Because I like the idea of video games, and I don't play them that often because to me, sitting at home and playing a video game has a slightly forever alone quality to it. You're doing stuff that's cool, but there's no one to really share it with, and that's just me. So, and I figured if I'm doing my Brian Does Stuff thing, then I can do videos about my progress and what I'm actually doing. And I can have people, bitch at me if I give up and stop doing it, hopefully. Because if I can get people on my side, then I will disappoint them if I fail. I disappoint myself constantly. I'm used to disappointing myself. But how should I start? Well, I came up with the idea. I posted like maybe a year or two ago. I posted the kernel of an idea of a game setting that I would love to kind of update for D&D 5th edition. Right? Well, what kind of world? I love the idea, and for some reason it just tickles me, and it's just a weird idea, because you've got your standard D&D world, which is vaguely romanticized Western Europe, medieval times. You've got and it's not realistic medieval times, but it's like I said, fantastic and romanticized version of that. And I thought, okay, well, they've also got they did Oriental Adventures, and they've done other games like Legend of Five Rings for the Asia type. They've done some odd ones. I think there was a D&D setting that was something like Aztecs. I've seen the Arabian type stuff. They've done for everything. And of course then they've also done stuff there was a Dragon Star setting for 3rd edition, which was D&D in space. There was Shadowrun, which was basically D&D meets cyberpunk. And I thought, you know what? Let's have D&D meets a romanticized fantasy version of modern day world. I've seen I've seen webcomics do it. They did something like Urban Arcana, but I'm not talking about the real world and then just drop some elves and stuff into it. No, here's what I'm thinking. A world that was basically a fantasy world with magic and elves and dwarves and all the other races and all that history and magic items and clerics and pantheon of gods and the whole and monsters and the whole bit. And then fast forward about 1,000 years and give them like cars and cell phones. But it wouldn't be exactly, it would like, again, there would be, I've come up with like details in my head about how it would differ from the real world and how it would be similar, you know, and that sort of thing. And of course there would be lots of areas that still had monsters, and there would lots of areas that are still kind of dangerous because that's what adventurers are for. They're like, well, you said, well, in the modern type world, what use would there be for adventurers? What use would there be for an adventuring party to go out and do stuff? And to that I say, it's just as unrealistic in a fantasy world that a priest, like some scholarly wizard, a fighter mercenary, an urban thief would get together to just wander out in the wilderness in search of fortune and glory, and no one would think that was weird. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll come up with maybe some organization that organizes these expeditions, but still, it's not unrealistic. I mean, it's acceptably unrealistic. And I don't know what I would call the world. In my head, I jokingly call it A-Earth or whatever, like, because you always see Earth, U-R-T-H, or Y-R-T-H, or A-E-R-T-H, so I thought, how about A-E-I-O-U-R-T-H? It could also be A-E-I-O-U-Y-R-T-H, but only sometimes. That's just my joke title in my head. I don't know what we would call it. And I figured if I create this world, I'll share it with it as it develops and maybe, you know, actually run a D&D game. I want it to feel like D&D. That's the thing. Shadowrun wanted to feel like Cyberpunk. Urban Arcana, the D20 Modern one, wanted to feel like a modern world. I want it to feel like D&D, but with a kind of, like, technological twist. You know, there is a division between magic and technology. Because I've seen the Magitech thing done, and you know, like, ooh, like our cars run off of magical batteries. No, they figured out actual technology. And my theory about that is, A, magic is very personal. The idea that magic is going to it's like technology can be used by pretty much anyone. Technology is pretty much anyone. Magic is the purview of the chosen few. It's like, you know, not everyone's going to be a wizard. Not everyone's going to be a sorcerer or whatever. So, and also I came up with the idea that magic items work best on simple devices or simple things that are handmade. Something that is manufactured or has many moving parts could not be made magical. You would have to, like a gun, which has a lot of fiddly bits, would be very, very hard to magic, if possible at all. Maybe if you handcrafted a bullet, but it might not be worth a magic bullet. That would be kind of cool. But it might not be worth the time and effort to do so. So, but a sword, it's a piece of metal. You can make a magic sword much, much more easily. So there is a division between magic and technology. You know, they still both have their place. Both are considered very important. But anyway, that's just my thought. I've got a lot more thoughts, and I could go on forever. But I would like, you know, if you want to hear more about it, just let me know. I can make more videos and actually write down. I like the idea of a weird limitation on technology is like, what if you had like a flat Earth? You know, it actually is a fantastic world. It's not a sphere. So you have like a flat Earth, which basically means you wouldn't have satellite technology, which means you would have a lot of technology that you have now, but it would be much more localized. It wouldn't be as if you're lost in the wilderness, you can't just whip out your GPS. You know, but at the same time, I am not super tech savvy. I don't really know the full effects, so I would be curious if there's anyone watching who knows more about technology than I do. If there were no satellite technology, how would this affect like modern day technology, and what workarounds, like what other methods could people have of achieving the same thing, right? Could you get Wi-Fi in the Underdark? Stuff like that. Anyways, so this is me, my Brian does stuff, me yakking on, and my creative ideas. And if anyone has any ideas or any pitching, like, hey, any questions, like, hey, wouldn't this be interesting? How would this be handled? I've got ideas for pantheons in my head. I'm not good with names, but I have ideas for types of gods and types of pantheons and how it works. So that's, maybe I'll get to that next. And any ideas on how to come up with a cool name for a world, because I mean, otherwise I just don't want to like make something up. It might, that sounds lame. But anyways, heading out for now. Happy New Year.